let's start this off at a deficit. Let's put myself at a disadvantage and see if we can't get this video demonetized in the first 30 seconds. Donald Trump is the easiest mark in the history of fucking human marks, right? Just unbelievable how easily manipulated this goober is. He is a rube, a world-class clown who's being laughed at on a global stage after what he pulled off yesterday with Vladimir Putin, allowing Vladimir Putin to speak first on American soil at a press conference that led nowhere. No questions were asked. Why are we calling it a press conference? And then afterward, he's doing the interviews with Sean Hannity on Fox News. And he's just relaying all of the flattery and manipulation that was communicated to him by Vladimir Putin, a former KGB agent who is well versed in the art of manipulation. And Donald Trump, you don't even need skill. You don't even need training. You don't even need that particular acumen to be on display because it's just Donald Trump. He's got a childlike understanding of the world. He's never had to work for anything. All of the wild multi-million-dollar mistakes that he's made were covered by his daddy. He's just another rich puke is all Donald Trump is. And it's all he was born a rich puke. He's going to die a rich puke. How's that? It was more than 30 seconds. What kind of flattery, you might ask? Well, there's a couple of different kinds. One is Donald Trump wants to constantly be seen as right and smart and on top of things. And even though he is single-handedly right now causing markets to be, at the very most charitable explanation of it, is to be uncertain and not reliable. And then, more of a reality lens, he is causing markets to crash. He is damaging the United States economy to the tune that we won't be able to reverse the damage done for decades, is what he's doing right now with his ridiculous tariff policies. There are industries, the global industries, that are under threat right now because of what Donald Trump is doing single-handedly, because he wants to give massive tax cuts to rich people. Anyway, we don't need to go into all of that. But the economy is the first level of flattery that was delivered by Vladimir Putin into the heart and the soul and the mind and the ears of Donald Trump. Here he is just regaling Sean Hannity with, look, he says, Vladimir Putin, it must be true because Vladimir Putin said it. Our economy is hot as a pistol. Shockingly, Vladimir Putin uses turns of phrase that are common to Donald Trump. Nobody talks like that except for Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. Watch the rubiest rube who ever rubed get treated like the rube he is by murderous dictator, war criminal, Vladimir Putin.
And Vladimir said just a little while ago, he said, I've never seen anybody do so much so fast. He said, your country is like hot as a pistol. And a year ago, he thought it was dead. Everybody thought it was dead.
Let me ask you this.
Strange that the thing Donald Trump has been repeating over and over and over got told to him by Vladimir Putin. So there's a couple of different options here, and we can talk about it in the comments. You can call me when I drop the number at the end of the episode here. Did this really happen? Did Vladimir Putin actually use this type of language in an effort to flatter, to ingratiate himself, to humiliate, it's humiliation adjacent, but to manipulate Donald Trump? Or is Donald Trump just lying about this thing that he said? Either one, very valid option. It's very likely that Vladimir Putin did say what Donald Trump wanted to hear to get the end result, which we're going to talk about. The second thing that Donald Trump is trying to convince Americans using the opinions and talking points of a trained espionage agent, Vladimir Putin, a brutal murderer of pregnant women and babies in Ukraine, is that, well, look, he says that the election was stolen. So we're now supposed to take advice on democracy from an anti-democratic dictator. Gotcha. Totally makes sense. Awesome. Thank you, President of the United States.
Oh, Vladimir Putin said something, one of the most interesting things. He said your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting, every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. And he said, and you lost it because of mail-in voting. It was a rigged election. But mail-in voting, Sean.
Love getting my advice on democracy from a murderous dictator, don't you? Fan-fucking-tastic. Oh, how embarrassing it is to be an American with Donald Trump as president of the United States. For all of the talk about how woke kills everybody and there's transgender for everybody and all of the insanity and conspiracy theories and lies and bigotry and hatred and white supremacy that is on full display, we are being embarrassed on our own soil by a Russian killer of human beings. His own people he bombed in apartment bombings in 1999. If you don't know how that went down, just Google it. I'm sure there's a Wikipedia page about the apartment bombings that was orchestrated by Vladimir Putin to kill his own people, to create a frenzy of, oh no, we need security because the Chechens or whoever he blamed. And there is evidence that it was him. And Donald Trump's taking his word on how we should run our elections because of mail-in ballots. Dozens of countries do that. It's not out of the norm at all. And the greater and the further we go into modernity with technological advancement, there's probably going to be more than just mail-in ballots. We could do it electronically. All of the crypto goons are saying, oh, we need to do it. Tie the election to the blockchain. What's Donald Trump going to say there as he's touting crypto constantly? Taking Vladimir Putin's word for everything. How good is our economy? I don't know. Ask Vladimir. How strong is our democracy? I don't know. Ask the enemy of the United States of America. He'll tell you. All of this, though, served one end, one goal on the part of Vladimir Putin. He flattered Donald Trump on his economic prowess. Even though Donald Trump's destroying the economy of the United States, he's destroying the democracy in this country. He's calling into question the legitimacy of our very elections. And all of this served one point. It was to get Donald Trump to this point on the negotiations of a ceasefire and ending the war, the aggression, the unjustified incursion and invasion of a peaceful neighbor, Ukraine. He got him to this point. Watch Donald Trump deliver to Vladimir Putin the thing he so wanted.
There's a lot of points. I mean, a lot of points we're agreed on. But there's not that much. There's, one or two pretty significant items, but I think they can be reached. Now it's really up to President Zelensky to get it done. And I would also say the European nations, they have to get involved a little bit. But it's up to President Zelensky. I think we are... And if they'd like, I'll be at that next meeting. They're going to set up a meeting now between President Zelensky and President Putin. And myself, I guess, I didn't ask you about it. Not that I want to be there, but I want to make sure it gets done. And we have a pretty good chance of getting it done.
Now it's really up to Zelensky to get it done? Donald Trump, how are you going to earn that Nobel Peace Prize if you're like, yeah, well, I'm done now? Zelensky will do it. Oh, and Europe, they can take care of this. How are you going to get your Nobel Prize if you're not involved, sir? With tears in my eyes? He's a rube. He's a coward. He's a moron. He is the most intellectually incurious president we've ever had. He speaks at a third grade level. It's very likely he reads at a third grade level. And it's only getting worse as his brain melts right before our eyes. So easily manipulated. A coward and a clown, a physical weakling. Being mocked by the media, you'll hear later, about his cankles on full display. They're doing diagrams and circles and zooming in on his old man cankles. Dangerous. Dangerous for us on many, many, many fronts. That Donald Trump is the head of a cult with tens of millions of people of adherents to the cult who believe anything he says. Vladimir Putin's our ally? Okay, yes, sir. Tears in my eyes. He's our ally. Woke has gone too far? Yes, sir. Here we go. Buy my Bibles and my trading cards and my watches? Yes, sir. I laugh because it's either that or just fall into a deep depression about how far our country has fallen. The same country I volunteered to serve in the United States Marine Corps, a country I've dedicated years of my life in service to. It's not that I hate America. I love America deeply. I have deep devotion and love for our country. I swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States on multiple occasions. I love this country. Anyway, I would love your opinion. You can comment below in the comments section wherever you're watching this video. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you watch. It is free to subscribe. And if you want to give me $2 a month to help produce this content, if I bring you enough value for $1.99, please consider it. No obligation, but I would appreciate it very much. You can go to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. You can also help support this work right here on the YouTube or on the Facebook by becoming a channel member or subscribing, whichever metric makes most sense for you. I love and appreciate you very much. Follow me on social media. I am @Dollemore, and I will see you next time. Be genuine and take care of one another.